Here we are in the 80-meter shooting shed. On my rifle case there. Over there is the targets, 80 meters away. Just to put some targets up. Today, gonna shoot my two hunting rifles. This one, 6.555 Swedish. Good old classic style hunting rifle. This also, BSA. With these are just like hunting scopes, 3x9, and this is 4x12 or something like that. Some basic ammo, Fiocchi, cheap target ammo, 30-06, 147 grainers, that's 9.52 grams, pretty light ones, and the Norma Yakmach, which are something like 6.5 or 8.5 grams, I think, 8.5, 100 grains. So, yeah, let's get to it. Enough talking. Beautiful day. Put some earplugs in and do it. Okay, let's see if this works. My phone camera supported by a sandbag and two hockey pucks. Has to be hockey pucks because we're in Sweden now, of course. So, well, a long time ago I shot this thing. So let's take a cold bore shot. I have some old Cellier Belows here, which I don't use anymore. So just warm it up with this. Take a couple of shots to warm the barrel up. Just checking my scope first. Something like that. There's a focus to it, a parallax setting too. Some kind of cheap hunting scope. Not the best one, but good for this. Let's set some magnification on this so that I can see the targets. Oh, not easy to adjust the parallax on these things. This is as sharp as it gets, I think. Full magnification. What is this thing? "16 times, that can't be 16 times, that's a joke." Is that 16 times magnification? Fucking joke, man. Well, it's getting smaller, so it has to be 16 times. Something like that. Let's take a shot. I have ear protection already, but maybe do some doubles today. This one we don't need right now. Now I have double ear protection. Seems very close, but it's a good 3.5 inch. Maybe a sandbag under. Somewhere around there. That's too much sandbag. Let's try this crappy old leaking thing. Oh, just use this and my hands. Something like this. All right, let's do it. I always seem to forget how light this trigger is set, but I think I was on target anyway. Let's do another one. God, I love this trigger. Let's do one more. Or let's do these two. Go and have a check and see if I'm on target. So it's a way to start. Okay, some old holes down there I didn't patch everything up. I thought I was gonna be on the target, which is like 5x5 inch something, but couldn't see on the target, so I probably was below it. Some old holes there, so I'm going to take 2 more shots with these 2 cellular billows, which are probably not zeroed in, some old ammo. Going to take the good old shot in the sand thing and see if I can spot any impact. The hard thing with these 6.5 and 308 and all these compared to air guns is sometimes it's hard to spot your impact, because this thing is jumping around and it's a pretty shitty scope. I'm used to my air guns. I can hold, look through it, I see where my impact is, and sometimes even if it's sunny outside, I can see the trajectory of the pellet or the slug, but with these you can. So anyway, I'm just here for having fun, spending some time at the range. Nothing serious. I'm not going to try to zero this thing in with these Norma Yak much. If I'm not seeing there, it's totally off. Okay, I will do it. But basically just spending some rounds. So let's see. Something in the sand where it's sunny. Well, it's pretty much somewhere there, though it's not like 1 yard off. So it's within that area anyway. Let's take another one. There is something lying in the sand, some piece of wood or something. Well, hard to say with sand, but it's in this area anyway. So that's over to the Jaktmatch, which I think is something rifle is sighted in for. I have a A4 paper target, like a normal sheet of paper you put in your printer. It's an MDT sighting in target, so I'm going to try to hold on that and see if I'm on paper and go from there. I'm going to hold it in the middle. Okay, it's hard to tell from here. I should have brought my binoculars. I can see something up there though. Could be old paper patch or impact. So I'm going to put one more round. Okay, it's impact. So I'm a little right and a little high. So I'm going to take a look, measure it, and start to adjust from here. Yeah, guys, just so you know, I just told you I'm not going to do anything serious. I'm not going to adjust it if I'm not totally like a yard off. Now I'm about 4 inches off, and I'm still going to break my promise to you. I'm probably going to adjust it, zero it in. And that's the gift of having ADHD. I mean, you're unstoppable. Okay, had a quick check. We're on 80 meters. What's that? 90 yards. This is a BSA cheap scope, 4x16. Should be on my BSI rifle actually, brand wise, but it's on this 6.555, and this is a very serious hunting scope. Not. But it still has, anyway, the clicks is in MOA, and I'm roughly 2.5 inch high, approximately. Didn't bring my measure tape, but approximately 2.5 inch. And a good 1.25 inches to the right. So my ambition is to step it down a little, so I'm around the center area, 1 inch around it, maybe a little high, and maybe a little to the left, because we have a pretty strong wind left to right. So it's also, even if it's just marginally, it's actually theoretically anyway, lifting the bullet and pushing it to the right. So I'm going to bring it down within so much inch area around the center point, and gonna leave it a little to the right, let's say a half inch, 3/4 of an inch. And it should be pretty there for hunting anyway after that. So let's click down. I was thinking maybe it's quarter clicks, 1 MOA is quarter clicks. Let's take it down 8 clicks, 8/4. Oh, it's these turrets are the lifting one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, one could say they are very distinct clicks. They hardly audible, and you can hardly feel them. With gloves, you couldn't feel them at all. So, well, it's not the best quality thing, but I got it for free when I bought these 2 rifles. So let's see. Right there, we go left. Let's say 2 clicks. 2 clicks to the left. Bring it back upwind. Okay, I'm gonna keep on single loading. That's the best thing in this old thing. So let's take a couple of new ones. Yeah, from here it looks like it's quarter and 1 1/4 inch down. It's pretty much on center point, which wasn't my aim. I was thinking leaving it a little to the right. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. And well, I have to zero for the win next time, whenever I'm shooting. Never mind. I can't do this very cool trick we see on Facebook when people are sliding the bolt back and catch the round with their hand at the same time. This probably because my hands are very tiny, and probably because this is a long action. It's not a 308, 6.5 PRC or Creed or something cool. So that's why I can't do it. It's not because I'm lousy at catching things with my old hands. No, it's because it's a long action. Only that. So let's click 1 more, 2 more, 2 more down. I'm gonna leave the wind adjustment turret for a while, and maybe when I'm done, click it 1 to the right, so I know a little right of the center point due to the wind. But let's see. This is the thing with ADHD. I told you I'm just gonna have some fun, not gonna be serious, not sighting too much. I'm gonna be here all day if I know myself. Funny thing, this ADHD thing. Okay, 1 more. Fuck, that looked very low. I have to go and check. I'm not gonna bring the phone with me. I'm gonna leave it here, and I'm gonna tell you what it was. It's boring to see turrets anyway. This whole video is boring actually, but never mind. Okay, so we're pretty much there. It's a tad low. It's slightly like, say, like a 1/4 of an inch to the right, just where I want it in this wind. I'm gonna bring it up 1 tad, take a couple of last shots, and just leave it there, because anyway, if I want to go shoot something that's moving and breathing, I can't use these FMJs anyway. Here in Sweden, we're not allowed to hunt with FMJs except for big birds, which you shoot like, we call them top birds, top fogel. They're sitting up in a tree, mostly in the winter when it's freaking cold. And you know me, I hate cold, snow, winter. That's the time when I take my things and go to Thailand for 3 months. So it's not gonna happen shooting with FMJs. So I'm not gonna hunt with this. I'm gonna take a couple more shots, see we're around that middle circle like I told you, and just leave it like it is, because I have to sight it in for hunting ammunition. Anyway, these Norma Jaktmatch are good. From that perspective, called Jaktmatch means like hunting match. There is 1 round for hunting, which is pretty close to this. So you can basically use this round for training and for do a rough sight in. And you're pretty much there if you take the the round that suits this one in the hunting edition. And basically, more or less, if you're hunting on close distances, you can have it zeroed in with this yak match, hunting match, practicing ammo, and put a hunting round in, and you should be pretty much there, enough for hunting anyway, if it's within 100 yards. So let's put a couple more rounds. I did patch the target up, I think. Can't see from here, but anyway, let's give it one more. I mean, this scope 4x16 and 16 feet is like magnification by 3 in my other scopes. I don't know, doesn't feel like 16 magnification. It's so far away, everything. Anyway, this is what we have. This is what we run. Stop bitching, start shooting. Well, I can see one impact, about that much to the right, could be me shaking anyway, but pretty much center mass in the center. So I probably leave it like that and switch over to the good old British hunting rifle of mine. One thing before I go, guys, this one. Maybe somebody or any one of you know anything about this rifle, then please let me know below. I bought it secondhand from a widow, and from what I know a little, and the brand is Churchill, and the model is Highlander, and I think, but please correct me on this one or help me out, I think Churchill or Highlander Churchill or Churchill Highlander, I don't know which is the brand and which is the model. Probably the model is Churchill and the brand is Highlander. From what I know, this is probably made in Italy in the 70s or 80s, mid 80s, early 80s, mid 80s, and sold in the US as a budget hunting rifle. I have seen copies of this on YouTube in 30-06 and 308, so probably for the American market. But please help me out if you know anything about this Highlander Churchill with a wooden stock, 2-piece locking bolt. Let me know. Could be interesting for me to know. All right. So let's jump over to this thing. Made in England. Serial number 7, capital L3645. If anyone knows anything about this rifle, please do let me know. It says the Birmingham Small Arms Company Limited, England, and I think the model is called, I have it in my head somewhere, but it's a BSA, probably from the late 60s, I guess. There is a remainings of an open sight here. That piece, which should be here, is removed. It was like that when I brought this one, second-handed, also from a widow, whose husband unfortunately just acquired these, started to renovate it, and just suddenly left this earth. So I had to try to redo, because everything was sanded down, had to try to fix the checkering, looking somewhat proper. If you're standing 10 yards away, it looks proper anyway, don't look too close. And fix the stock so it looks decent. Well, it shoots pretty okay, I would say. It's a 30-06. It kicks a lot in bench, which a 30-06 normally does. maybe not the rifle you want to sit in bench with all day. Now I'm just whining. But I'm Swedish. We're not used to heavy caliber rifles like you guys on the other side of the pond. I mean, you shoot 338 Lapuas and 50 BMGs with one hand without blinking. I'm not that guy. I piss my pants every time I pull the trigger on this one. But it's fun. So let's do it. It has a Burris, B-U-R-R-E-S. I don't know how to pronounce that. Burris. Scope 3x9. And this actually sat on the rifle originally as it came. So yeah, I have another paper target. They're the same size, A4 we call that, which you normally print out. What is this? Norma. Okay. Put this 6.5 back. I have a 30-06 round. I should check, double check. Yeah, that's a 30-06. Don't put the wrong ammo in it. I'm gonna put this away there. Don't put these here. I don't want to put the wrong ammo in it by mistake. Okay. Does this thing have a parallax? Probably not. Well, it has some eyepiece correction in a way. So that's my parallax. If I can see the crosshairs a little more clear than now, that is probably good news. I should remove my reading glasses though. Put these on before I adjust the crosshairs maybe. Yeah, now it looks more decent. The fun thing with this crosshair adjustment is that when I adjust this, it looks like a zoom system. The picture is moving back and forth, and when it's sharp for me, it's way smaller, the side picture, that it is when it's on sharp. So it's the cheap man zoom, but actually there is a zoom here. 4, 3, okay, so let's put it to 9 then. And see if the eyepiece is still hanging on. Well, it should be some kind of focus, shouldn't there? No, there is no parallax adjustment, no side focus, no front focus, nothing on this one. I did forget because I haven't shot for a long time. So okay, I have another A4 target there. Well, now I'm gonna do my pants because this thing is kicking so hard. I'm a little trigger shy with this thing. Stop bitching, start shooting. And this trigger isn't as smooth as the 6.5, the other rifle. As you can see, this thing is kicking. A little more. I couldn't even tell with this side, so I have to take a walk. As usual, I'm going to leave you here. Look after my rifles, all right, while I'm gone. Okay, had a quick check on the target. The same with the other guy that I shot, the 6.5, 55. Not going to be too serious with this. I'm going to try to bring it down. It's 147 grain bullet compared to the 100 grain, so I don't going to take the wind too serious actually, and wind slow down, the left to right wind also at the same time. So now it's a good generous 5.5 inch high, but pretty much in the center. So my point of impact is good 5 inch over my point of aim. So I'm going to bring it down a couple of notches, have the same philosophy, leave it around that area, around the center area. The same thing with this, full metal jackets, Fiocchis. I never shot these, so of course it's off. I shot something else, probably a Cellier Veloz or something before. So of course I have to adjust it. These are probably the same, like 1/4 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't know because I'm trigger shy. I do my pants every time I pull the trigger on this one. So I do adjustment, and I'm going to shoot like 3 rounds so I get an average, because that could just be me that I'm 5 inches high. Who knows? Just to get an average. So actually I'm gonna load in the magazine, and both these rifles have like built-in magazines. I think they are, capacity is 5 plus 1 in the barrel. 5 plus 1, that's 6, or if it's 4 plus 1, no, it's 5 plus 1, so 6 altogether. Which is, I think in Sweden we are allowed to have 5 for hunting, not more. If you have a newer hunter rifle with a box magazine, you push in from outside. 5 is max. One other very fun thing is in Sweden, and this is special to you, if anybody from the Swedish government, or not government, but anyone involved on a government level in hunting and happen to watch this, then this is addressed to you, which I think is very interesting and funny. We are allowed to have 5. When we're hunting bear, we're only allowed to have 3. And except from that, we're not allowed to have any sidearms on hunting. And just imagine what happens if you fall, you can't reach your rifle, and you just took a shot on the bear. I mean, if any time in life you need at least 5 rounds in your magazine, it's for bear hunting. And for bear hunting, we're only allowed to have 3. So I send this to you. Think it over. I don't think anybody of you thought this over properly, because you wouldn't hunt bear with 3 rounds in your rifle. I promise you that. So let's do it. 3 shots. Oh, I can't see a damn thing. Of course, I have my glasses on, my reading glasses. That's why. This is not so bad. This trigger, it's like a 15-pound trigger. I tried to adjust it. It was like 25 pounds before. We're not talking ounces, we're talking pounds and tons. Actually, I could just quite narrowly see an impact, and from what it looks, the first one was 2 inches to the left, but as I told you, I'm shaking all over the place with this thing, so I'm gonna give it 3 rounds. The other impact is probably 1 inch above center point, center mass, and 1.5 inch right. So I'm all over the place, like I guessed I would be. I think, not sure. 2 impacts from what I can see here is on the right side, like 1 inch, 3/4 of inch. One is 1 inch. One is like 1/2 inch high. One is like 1.5 inch high. And maybe that's the first one is an impact to the left. Can't tell from here with this scope. Gonna have a look. Gonna leave you here. Please look after my BSA, please. Clear. So check the target out quickly. I have 3 shots distributed in an area, something like this and this wide. All of the 3 was like, I would say 3/4 to 1 inch to the right. We have a slight wind. The last one or the first one, I'm not sure, was exactly on the middle center line, but to the right. So I'm pretty much there. So what I'm going to do is bring it down, do an average 1 click or 2, because only 1 was down on the center line, 2 were like a 3-4 inch up. Let's bring it down 2, 1 to the left, and then leave it like that. And I'm going to finish off with shooting this and the 6.5 from tripods. The 6.5 have a camera fitting in the center, in the middle of the rifle, so I can attach it on my carbon fiber tripod, which I use for my photography work, but it also doubles in as my tripod when I'm shooting my rifles, especially my air rifles and my 22, and they all have like camera fittings. I'm going to show you. Like this, Manfrotto system. It's mounted in the middle of the rifle on the center point. As close I can get. Of course I have the magazine here, so I couldn't mount it here. So I mounted just in front of it. It's a little back heavy, but this I can shoot offhand. Not with good results, but I can manage it. This thing, I would never try to shoot offhand, total offhand. I tried it. And the trigger is so bad, so hard to pull, so I'm probably 3 feet over whatever I keep my sights on. So this is basically from a bench for having fun, or from some point of support, a sandbag or lying prone or whatever, or a tripod or a bipod, or even maybe a monopod. I wouldn't do that, but so that's the way it is. I don't think you can get triggers for these things. So I'm gonna put 3 more on it, see if I'm okay about where I want to be, and then we're gonna switch to tripods with both of the rifles. I'm gonna try to show you also, I mean, this is a 30-06, and all you American shooters know from birth the size of this one. So what I tried to show you is, I don't know if you can see, try to show you something like, try to show you the 6.5 55 Swede, so you get a idea about the size of this. So it's a good piece shorter, a little thinner, I think. So you know, this is actually a Mauser cartridge. It's a derivative from the 8.57, or which is actually scored. It's not a 8.57 JS. The Mauser, the German round, that is actually a 7.92 by 57. But the common name is 8 by 57. So anyway, so this is a derivative, the 6.555 of the German Mauser, adopted for the Swedish Army back in the late 1800s. I told you this before in some other videos, but I'm pretty nerdy about Mauser history, so I wanted to show you that anyway. So let's take 3 more rounds, shots at the same patched up target. Let's check if I can use this sandbag of this rifle instead. Yeah, feels way more steady than the other one. That was the first shot. I was talking about adjusting it down, and I didn't, but it's confirmed now, I think, with my laser shooting, that it is high So I'm gonna bring it down to, like I told you, I was supposed to do. And one to the right, or left, I mean. Going back from right to the left, like I promised you. Put another round in it, so I have 3. And shoot these 3 in a kind of quick succession. Excuse me, my shitty American English or English. So let's take 3 quickies. That was a joke. I know what a quickie means. But anyway, let's take 3 quickies. One. Well, that's not too quick, but it's as quick as I dare to do it without soiling my pants too much. Looks high still. I have to go and take a check. Probably have to take it down 2 more notches and then I'm gonna leave it there. But let's check. Watch my rifle, guys. Okay, so the finesse with some of these cheap scopes are, of course, that when you adjust the height, sometimes the windage also follows without you needing to adjust the windage, so it just moved more to the right. I didn't touch it. I actually tried to move it more to the left, but so I pretty much have the center line with 2 shots together like this, almost touching, which is fantastic if you look at my shooting abilities, which are 0 to none and suck with these kind of calibers. So I moved it back 2 notches. Gonna take just 2 more, and then we're gonna switch to the tripod thing. This thing always jams up. So let's give it another one. One more, baby. Looked like that impacted like so much to the left, 2 clicks. Shouldn't be like that, but okay, just for the fun. I don't trust my own shooting, but move it back 1 to the right. Just see if I'm somewhere in between. Just by luck. I think I put that to the left actually. Couldn't tell from here, but actually I'm gonna leave it like that because I'm a lousy shot with these rifles. But still this area or like this, enough for a bigger animal on 80 yards, 90 yards. That's what we shoot with these. Nothing further. I wouldn't shoot if I don't absolutely have to outside 100 yards. So for that kind of work, it's good. It's not for target work, of course, but it's fun to take it out sometimes and let it take a couple of rounds. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out, then we're gonna move to tripods, all right? So did a last check. That's what I'm talking about, ADHD. As I already told you, I'm gonna leave it like that and jump over to the tripod shooting with these two rifles. And just take a look. Basically, this whole thing can shoot. It's pretty okay. This is a patch. I don't know if you can see it, but my thumbnail. Two almost touching each other, both at the same place to the left. So I am gonna take two more shots. I'm gonna bring it back to the right a little, and then I hopefully gonna leave it there. But pretty impressed. Not about my shooting, but the rifle. It's pretty accurate on these distances. And I think many of these old rifles, they are made up to 80, 100, 110 yards, and they shoot pretty well. And still, if I'm a lousy shooter, the shots I took is all spread out on the area or something like this, which is lousy. And I'm not used to that because I'm a target shooter most of all. But for hunting, it's still enough. All my shots are still in the lung and heart areas. So it's a different game when you're hunting. It's more important than to zero from a bench, which is a pretty bad idea. Actually, it's just give you estimate about approximately where you are. Instead of doing that all the time in the bench, better to learn to shoot it offhand and from a tripod. That's my personal idea. That's what I'm telling myself. So, two more. Don't forget to bring it back to the right. Let's see. I'm not sure if I'm doing it the correct way. I need my reading glasses. I thought this was right. Yeah, it is. Okay. I've been clicking to the right direction actually all the time, which is good news. I think I pulled that a little to the left. Always when I try to squeeze the trigger, but it's a lousy trigger. This one looks high to the right. One more. I think, as I told you, every time I adjust windage, something happens with my height. And if I adjust the height, something happens with my windage. So, well, I'm within that area. Anyway, I told I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to leave it, go check it one more last time, and then we're going to jump over to tripods. I promise you, I'm not going to adjust it anymore, even with my ADHD. Okay, guys, I hope you can see me, or the most of me anyway. I'm going to stand here. This is my photography tripod, carbon fiber one, a Banro pretty light one. And here I have the Manfrotto camera system on, so I just clip my rifles, those who are equipped with the appropriate part fitting in here, mounted under the rifle, like the 6.5. The Highlander Churchill. Oh my god, that sounds good. Highlander Churchill. My redneck ass is actually owning a Highlander Churchill. It sounds very fancy, even if it's a cheap hunting rifle. And I'm also owning a BSIA Monarch. Sounds very fancy. So I'm going to use this one, and for the BSA, which doesn't have that fitting in the bottom, I'm going to use this. And this is more like real life situations, which I would use. I would probably use a tripod, especially for pigs and stuff like that. I don't do too much stalking, so probably more like hunting from a certain point where I'm situated or hide or something, and a tripod. So I'm going to try them for a real life situation. And see how much this style of shooting is changing actually my approximate point of impact, because it's different. I notice when I shoot sighting or zero in my 22 LR that I do it in a bench, then I go to a feed competition, lay down prone, and I'm totally off. And once I really try to use the scope adjustment, the height of it to the max, I put my 0 in the bench pretty low down, like half a turn from the bottom, and started my 0 there from 50 meters and upwards. And I was thinking I maybe can click all the way out to 270 meters or something, doing like that. And did go to that field shooting competition where we always shoot prone, and try to zero this thing in, and I had to go backwards, and I didn't have enough clicks downwards, so I was kind of, yeah, I was effed at that competition. Didn't have time to, move things around with my adjustable scope rings. That takes time. You just touch that 1/10 of a millimeter and you're way off. Anyway, so let's do this. Here. This thing is a little back heavy, as you can see, and now I'm gonna do the trick to actually get 5 rounds from the box, which is supporting my phone, which is filming right now. That's why you can see my hands close to the camera lens. I hope you can see me. Looks like I should adjust a little more like this, maybe. Okay, that rifle is clear. Gonna double check that. It's very clear because the bolt is out of it. So I'm just gonna do it Wild West style. Load a 5 in. Hope that this old magazine doesn't jam too much, which it sometimes does. Also the BSA love to jam up. And take 5 shots on the A4 paper side, or the printer size paper target over there, and then I'm going to switch to that thing. And I'm going to switch my glasses again to the proper glasses, protection glasses, where I also can see something through the scope. And of course, this one, the first thing this is doing, try to jam on me. Let's see. This is one way of adjusting the height quickly. That's just a pro tip. Oh, sunshine, can hardly see the target, but let's do it anyway. I pull that to the right, I know that. Off center to the left, but should be on target. Of course, I try to hit that little point. When you're hunting, you don't have time to do the fine stuff like this. Or try to get an idea of shift of point of the impact from a tripod. But I think I'm pretty much in the middle, actually. So let's put this thing to the side. The lovely, fancy Highlander Churchill. Fancy rifle for me, a redneck ass like me. And take this lovely thing, the BSI Monarch. This is a fun thing I'm going to show you. Maybe you know this already. You put it in the bolt like any other rifle. But when you take the bolt out, it took me quite a while to get it out the first time. I had to call a friend to ask how to do it. You don't pull the trigger towards you. Actually, what you do is pull the bolt all the way forward. Pull the trigger that way to the front of the barrel. And then slide the bolt out. You can't just slide it out like this. You have to push it like that. Very strange. Very British. Cheers, guys. In the UK, but you do make lovely rifles, and most of all the quality of what you make is excellent. Imagine this like 50, 60 or 45 years ago, some old man with a hammer hand forging the barrels, and he's been doing that for the last 65 years with a cap on his head and a cigarette in his mouth, and just forging barrels all day by hand with a lot better precision than a CNC machine or a CAD machine can do today. Just imagine. Okay. Right side paper targets. I'm ready to shit my pants. Probably more soft on a tripod. I can clearly see when I start to pull the trigger how much that affects the shift of point, my aim of point. I have to try to find a steady position. This rifle scares the shit out of me. Now, getting a little more relaxed. Should be on target though. A little too right, but should be on target. BSA Monarch, redneck stylish. So I'm gonna go and check it. Okay, I hope you can see me, guys. Just did put the camera leaning to my smaller sandbag, wedged in between an ammo box and on top of a hockey puck. So I try to stand here in the middle. You should be able to see me. So 6.5 from this tripod, 5 shots, this area inside my hand, like a fist, something like a bigger fist than mine, but still a fist, around the center point where I was aiming, try to aim. So clean your main kills on a bigger animal, no problem. 30-06, this area, almost to the top of my hands, really wobbling around, you know me, I'm shit scared of that rifle. So, but still also good enough for heart and lung shots inside 100 yards, easy peasy. So I have 3 more rounds in the box, 30-06. Of course, I'm not gonna take them home. The 6.5, 55, I still have like 40 rounds in that overcrowded box. So I'm not gonna shoot them today, but these 3 30-06 cheap Fiocchis have to go. So welcome to the Science Channel anyway. So just for doing something different and do it something very scientific. I'm gonna try the scenario that I don't have this. I have this with me. I have my rifle with the camera fitting, but I have the 30-06 with me too without the fitting. So I have to use a tripod, and this is the only one I have in that scenario, and I have a sandbag. So I'm going to try to put it on the top and see if that is some kind of emergency situation that I can use and still hit the target. Maybe even I could be serious like this. This is another scenario actually. To take this piece off, which is kind of wobbly with the sandbag on top of it. And this base is pretty wide. And put the sandbag here. Should be more steady. So let's try that scenario and finish off with that. Oh, finish off. I think this video is like full with sexual implications that I'm not aware of with my bad English. So, not that one, this one. See if I can have a steady shooting position. Pulling and pulling. This trigger is like 15 pounds. Okay. So, from what I could see, that was also on target, pretty much like the other ones. And I'm gonna finish off with something like we say in Hungarian. Ez kurva jó volt, ezt elélveztem, ezt a napot. Which continue with the sexual implications mean, freely translated, something like, I really enjoyed this day. Catch you on the next one. See you guys.